Welcome back to the Rugby Social. Thanks for joining. And in this video, I am going to give you the rundown of my team of the week for week 3 of the Six Nations, and another set of fascinating fixtures that was delivered up for us by the Six Nations. Obviously, Ireland went through the motions and did what they needed to do against a fairly spirited Wales side in the second half. England, Scotland, well, what a game, what a Calcutta Cup that was. England off to a fast start, but soon pegged back by a very dominant Scotland in that fixture. And that's 4 years in a row that they've got the Calcutta Cup, and much deserved to them. And then probably the most interesting fixture of the weekend was another last-minute drama for France. And yeah, what a game of two halves that was as well. So yeah, Italy, France, fascinating. Love to know what you thought of the games. Please do let me know in the comments. But yeah, let me start giving you my rundown of the team of the week. So let's start in the front row. And a bit of a repeat from last week here. My number one loose head prop has to be Andrew Porter. Again, another strong scrummaging game. He also looks good in the loose. I thought he had a solid performance. No other real standouts at loose head this week. I mean, I thought Genge did a reasonable job for England against Scotland, but really he was ploughing a lone furrow there, just carrying the ball on his own. So yeah. Then at hooker, who else could it be but Dan Sheehan? He had another immaculate game. Such a great player. I think he is the standout hooker in world rugby at the moment. I mean, there were some other solid performances as well. I thought Malvaca did pretty well for France while he was on. He sort of very busy, makes things happen. And similarly, from an Italian point of view, their hooker, Nicotera, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't. I thought had a pretty good game as well. I thought he was solid in the scrum, good in defence, and yeah, all round quality. But has to be Dan Sheehan. Not only did he get that try, but he also became the leading hooker, leading try-scoring hooker in the Six Nations. So yeah, fair play to him. And then number 3, tight head. This week I haven't made it an all-Ireland front row, but possibly could have. This week I have actually gone for Xander Ferguson. I thought both he and Antonio played pretty well. I've just nudged Ferguson in there purely because he was on a winning side and Antonio wasn't. And, you know, at the scrum, I thought he did a pretty decent job. And just, you know, his general contribution to the set piece is good. So, in all honesty, no real standout tight head this week. But, yeah, gone for Xander Ferguson there. And moving into the second row. Now, I think it was actually the second row where we had the most amount of standout performances. So, I found it pretty hard to decide who to pick in this team of the week this time round. But I've gone for, firstly, Pasolo Tuilagi. And yes, he wasn't on a winning side, but what a talent he is. I mean, he's obviously a monster of a young man. And he was just making a massive difference around the pitch. I mean, carrying, he was making yards, he was brushing people off. Equally, whenever he hits a breakdown, yeah, he just makes such an impact. And he just looks like a threat. And I think possibly downfall for France was actually bringing him off as early as they did. But hey, so be it. And then his partner in the second row, I'm going to go for Tyburn. Despite his sin bin, it's not often you select a player for player of the week when they've had a sin bin. But he was great. So yeah, he pulled down that maul. Or changed his bind and the maul came down. But he was just relentless like ever. He was great around the pitch, doing everything. And I think he made up for his sin bin because the minute he came on, he immediately, a really dangerous line out, managed to win the ball back for Ireland, which was great. And obviously very deserved of his try right at the end, which brought up the Ireland bonus point. So yeah, definitely Tuilagi and Byrne for me. Other notable shout outs, I thought both of the Italian second rows played well. So Russo and Cannoni both had great games, as did Cummings for Scotland. So to be fair, you know, 5 real candidates there, and it could have gone pretty much any way out of those 5. But do let me know if you think I'm getting this right. Leave me a comment. Tell me who you think would have been in your team of the week. And whilst you're there, please do like and subscribe. Trying to reach as many rugby fans as possible. So yeah, anything you can do to help that will be most appreciated. So let's move into the back row. And back row, well, I've got a French player again, and maybe that's not appropriate to have two French players in my team of the week when they were very, very nearly beaten at home by Italy. But I thought Paul Boudahant, the La Rochelle the La Rochelle back row, had a really good game. From my perspective, he made some great tackles. He was smashing people, and he also managed to get his hand on the ball a few times, and he sort of hit a nice break as well. So I thought he had a really good performance, and although he wasn't directly replacing Aldrit at 8, he came in because of the Aldrit's injury, and I thought he did a great job. Moving to open sight, and number 7, Mikel Lamaro, for me, I just thought he was fantastic on the day. He's such a great leader for Italy. You know, he's got so much effort and hustle and bustle about him. He puts himself around everywhere. And I think he had 10 carries on the day as well. So it would have been really nice to see him lifting that trophy had they beaten France, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, he's my number 7. I think there was also some pretty much some other very credible performances. I thought Rory Darge was great for Scotland. Again, just a real specimen, an enforcer, really throwing himself about and making a nuisance of things. But yeah, I've gone for Lamaro. And then number 8, again, tricky decision here. There was a few good number 8 performances. I thought Dempsey for Scotland played well. Doris for Ireland played well. But I've gone for Aaron Wainwright. And I have to say, I just love the way he has stepped up. So obviously Wales have lost a huge amount of experienced players, and he's really just blossomed. He's really stood up and said, you know, I'm here to be a leader on the pitch, and I love that about him. And just the pace and ferocity he hits the contact with when he's running with the ball is great. And just defensively, I thought he was really fantastic as well. So he's my number 8. So moving into the halfbacks, and I think these two players basically picked themselves. I don't think there was much competition out there. So number 9, scrum half, has got to go to Jamison Gibson Park. He just makes Ireland tick. He's fantastic. It just his speed of getting the ball through the rucks is amazing. And also, you know, Ireland didn't have it all their own way this weekend. And whenever there was a little bit of disruption or the rucks weren't quite going 100% his way, he was still managing to get quality ball away to the backs. So, yeah, great player. Really enjoyed his performance. And I also thought, you know, not that it was a rival or a competition for being player of the week. I thought Ben Spencer, when he came on for England, did a really good job. Really pleased to see him back. He's not played for like best part of 4 or 5 years. And I thought he came on and made a difference to a fairly weak-looking England side on the day. But then Gibson Park's halfback partner has to be Finn Russell. Again, what a player he is. His kicking on the day was, again, fantastic, particularly from the tee. You know, I don't think he missed anything from the tee, and they were scattered all around the pitch. Did a great job there. And also that kick pass for Van der Merde's try as well was fantastic. And I do wonder, when we talk about Gibson Park and Finn Russell as halfback pairing, I do wonder whether that's the halfback pairing we're going to be seeing for the British Lions in 2025. And you know, they would be a credit to any side. So those are my 2 choices there. Had Paolo Garbisi, kicked that penalty after time was over, I possibly would have given it to him. But you know, at the end of the day, Finn Russell was the quality performer of the weekend. So let's move into the midfield. And who have we got here? Well, probably no surprise, and probably not a huge amount of competition for this position either. But Bundy Aki, coming back from injury, coming back from being rested, I think, just such an influence on the pitch. I mean, he carries the ball so hard, and he's always drawing defenders to him. You know, just his very presence seems to make space for other players. So I thought he was great. Real shame that try he scored was chalked off, because I really thought he deserved a try on the day. But hey, that's the way it goes. Another shout out for the inside centre jersey. Although he didn't play the whole game, I think he came on about half time. I thought Cam Redpath had a lovely game for Scotland. You know, he caused England's midfield all sorts of problems. And at times in that game, it looked sort of like men against boys. So his outside centre partner, going to go down a Scottish route again. So Hugh Jones, again, I thought had a great game. Yeah, he just ran some fantastic lines, and one of those lines brought Scotland's first try, which kind of got them back into a game that looked like it could be racing away from them, and England never recovered from Scotland scoring that try. So yeah, Hugh Jones for me is the outside centre. In terms of other creditable performances in that position, I thought Brex for Italy had a very, very good game. He really applied himself well. And now let's wrap this up with our back three. And I guess, again, probably a position that chose itself, really. It would have been impossible not to give Van der Merwe the number 11 jersey. Yeah, he scored a hat-trick. I think, is that 5 tries in 2 games against England? Every time he gets the ball, England look terrified on the day. So yeah, I think 3 ties. Obviously, man of the match in that game, even though he was sin-binned as well right at the end. But yeah, deserved winner there. I thought Ione for Italy also looked very good. I really like him as a player. He just seems to make great breaks. But yeah, has to go to Van der Merwe. Then on the other wing, I am going to give it to an Italian player this time. So Tommaso Monicello, man of the match on the day. What a player he is. I mean, he just looks so strong, doesn't he? Just a real physical brute of a man. He had some wonderful carries and really moved them forward. And, what a versatile player he's turning out to be as well. He's a real menace when he's in the midfield, and he proved to be a real menace when he was on the wing as well. So, yeah, very much really enjoyed his performance. And then final position. For me, it's a tight one again in terms of fullback. It was a real toss-up between Frowley and Winnett. But I've edged Frowley. Primarily, again, he got a try, which was nice to see. He was also beating defenders, which was nice to see. And whilst you can never say you don't miss Hugo Keenan because he's such an amazing player, Frowley did a really good job, and Hugo Keenan wasn't as missed as perhaps much as we thought he might be. I also thought Winnett had a great game, and he's a great player, and what a prospect he is. I mean, I think he's still only got a handful of senior appearances, but he just looks like a real natural. And some of his kicking was good. Some of his chasing his own kicks was good as well. So he had a great game. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go Frowley. And then just before I wrap it up and tell you who my absolute player of the week was, again, please do let me know if you agree or disagree with any of those choices I've made. I think I've probably got a couple of controversial ones in there, like having a couple of French players in there, even though they didn't have a great second half. I think they played pretty well in the first half, France. But yeah, do let me know what you think. And yeah, please do like and subscribe if I love talking about rugby. I hope you do too. So yeah, please do support me if you're happy to do so. So, in terms of, if you like, player of the week, I guess an obvious answer would have been Van der Merwe. And, he had a great game. He did. But I've just got to go Bundee Aki. I think just Bundee Aki looks such a menace. And, whilst it's Gibson Park who gets Ireland ticking, it's Bundee Aki who so often creates the space just through his sheer presence and ability and threat that people sort of perceive when he's got ball in hand. That I think for me he was my man of the week. And again, I know that will probably be controversial. Most people will go for other players, but it's all about opinions. Love to hear yours. Thanks very much for watching, and see you on the next one.